ballpark. He's allowed 10 runs this year. 6 of those 10 have come off of the home run ball.
And first pitch, fence ball for a strike.
I think Slowey's going to pitch a good ball game today. I think he's very determined. I talked to him before the ball game. He had that little bit of look in his eye. I liked what I saw.
You're not going to get your head shaved or anything like that if he pitches a shutout.
No, I didn't bet him that. But I think he's a little bit upset at the way that he performed over the last couple outings. He's a better pitcher than that. Had a great spring. And fly ball to left field. Delman Young right there for the first out.
One down. Oakland Ford defense for the Twins has Delman Young in left, Carlos Gomez back in the lineup in center, Michael Cuddyer in right, Creedy, Punto, Harris, and Morneau around the infield, and Mike Redmond behind the plate again. Gomez done a couple of games on the bench now, is ready to hopefully have a good game offensively. Manning center field with Denard Span for the first time this year, the odd man out of the outfield. And strike one to Matthews.
Slowey's all about control. The thing about Kevin Slowey, he needs to work the corners. Don't go down the heart of the plate. Matthews in his 3rd season with the Angels. Slowey working away and then coming back inside.
And that's fouled over the Twins bullpen. 1-2.
Well, for Kevin Slowey, not the best numbers. You see the 7.94 ERA, but the win coming here on April 8th against the Seattle Mariners, where he won that ball game 6-5. He worked 6 innings, did give up 5 runs.
Snap bat, and it comes down to Harris. Got in on the trademark a little bit, a soft liner for out number 2. And tonight's game on Fox Sports North is also being presented in high definition. For a complete listing of HD cable providers, go to foxsports.com, keyword North. 2 down, and that'll bring up Maicer Esteras. To give you some indication as to what's going on with the Angels here in the first couple of weeks, Esteras is more the type of player who would hit first or second or 8th or 9th in a lineup, not 3rd. But the Angels really don't have a whole lot of options right now.
Yeah, Vladimir Guerrero put on a 15-day disabled list. You see Joe Creedy right there. Remember Toronto? Scott Rowland had to play in because of the possible bunt. This Angel Ball Club, they like to bunt a lot, just like the Twins do. So Joe Creedy is going to play in. Also, you're going to see Sean Figgins, the 3rd baseman of the Angels, play in when the Twins are up.
Little pop-up behind second base. Punto out. And Slowey has a quick 1-2-3 inning. leadoff spot. Brendan Harris has been swinging the bat well. He'll hit second. Morneau and Kubel, then Cuddyer, Creedy, Delman Young, Mike Redmond with a couple of hits in the ball game, and then Carlos Gomez hits ninth.
And that lineup facing Darren Oliver, a left-hander making his first start since 2004 when he was with the Houston Astros, and an emergency starter for the Angels. We have a lot of starters on the disabled list, so Oliver asked, hopefully, I think Mike Scioscia and also Mike Butcher would like to get 5 good innings out of him if they can.
First pitch, a cutter over the inside corner, strike one. Punto taking over the leadoff spot. Denard Span getting his first start off, if you will. He'll perhaps be used later on in the ball game, but started all the other games and hit leadoff.
Oliver, one of those left-handers that likes to work inside.
Ground ball. Ibar to his left makes the pickup. Punto retired, one down. And the defense for the Angels brought to you by Northland Ford. Juan Rivera in left, Gary Matthews Jr. in center, Bobby Abreu in right, Torrey Hunter's the designated hitter. Higgins, Ibar, Esteuris, and Morales around the infield. Napoli catches Oliver.
And I don't mean pitching inside the Metrodome. I mean pitching inside to a lot of right-handed batters. Good fastball, hard slider down and in. There's that little cutter. He'll change speeds. This guy is a veteran. 16th season at the major league level for Darren Oliver. 38-year-old lefty.
That turns Harris away, and it's 1-1. Harris hit the other home run for the Twins last night. Kubel hit the dramatic 8th inning shot, but Harris hit his first of the year last night. Kubel hoping for a chance here in this first inning.
They hit that home run off of Dustin Mosley, and Mosley put on a disabled list today for the Angels. They brought up a couple more pitchers. With Mosley, a pitcher, going on the disabled list, Guerrero going on a disabled list, an everyday player. They have 13 pitchers now. Mike Scioscia does.
Harris snaps his bat. Ibar gets another chance. Throws on the run, 2 down. And one of the reasons they had to add a pitcher is they have Oliver in starting tonight, and then Shane Lukes is going tomorrow, and he's into the rotation as an emergency fill-in, making just his second start of the year.
I mentioned before Oliver, you see his 2 relief appearances, one against Oakland, one against Seattle. His last start came back in 2004 on August 5th. And actually in that start against the Braves, he pitched only 1 inning. Ended up leaving that ball game with some soreness in that arm.
Morneau takes ball 1. That's to short left center field. And down for a hit. Matthews backs it up. Morneau with a big turn, but he'll hold up with a bloop single. Rivera came in. The ball got by him, but Matthews, the safety net behind him, and it's a 2-out single.
I think if you ask any outfielder, these are the hardest ones to judge right off the get-go, because Justin, with that big swing, not only the Teflon baggie up there, but that big swing of Justin Morneau right off the end of the bat, you expect it to go a little further. He got a little late start, and there's Torrey Hunter right there to back it up. Excuse me, Matthews Jr. Gary Matthews Jr. out in center.
Here's Kubel. I'm not so sure that Oliver hasn't already broken 3 bats here in this first inning. Morneau made contact and made that sickening sound.
Oh, what a night for Jason Kubel last night. The 9th Twin to hit for the cycle.
1-1. Kubel hitting his 5th career grand slam, and he told me this afternoon this was by far the biggest one. Earlier he ended a game against the Red Sox a couple of years ago with a grand slam, but given the moment, the comeback, and that's softly into right center field and down for a hit. And he needs just a double, a triple, and a home run to back up last night's cycle with another one tonight.
Well, a couple dying quails off of Oliver. Morneau off the end of the bat. Jason Kubel continues to swing a hot bat. And Morales saying, give me some of that right there at first base. Well, Kubel getting the second hit of the inning with 2 outs.
All right, Ron Coomer, you picked Michael Kadire out of the bushel in the pick the stick thing here. What a right-hander is going to try to do against Oliver here tonight.
Well, Dick, we've seen Darren Oliver for a long time. He loves to throw that cutter like you guys have talked about. The key for the right-handers is to really go ahead and hook the ball, almost aiming at Scotty Alger, so you don't try to stay inside it. Just go ahead and hook it.
Misses the inside corner, ball one.
When you try to stay inside a pitch from Darren Oliver, who's cutting it in on you, you end up breaking your bat, which you said he's already broken 3 bats tonight. You've got to just commit to the swing and then go ahead and let it rip. If he leaves it out over the plate, could end up in the seats.
Now both those pitches inside, Ron, when you say commit to the pitch, are you trying to be quicker inside and opening up quicker?
You can do that depending on the location of the pitch, but what I mean, Bert, committing to the swing is go ahead and keep swinging the bat and keep spinning around the ball, because what happens is the ball's cutting in on you. You end up directing your hands a different way than what they started, and you try to stay inside it, and then what ends up happening, you end up getting hit right on your fist like Nick Punto did early, and you keep it fair, but you really don't want to try to keep his ball fair. You want to just hit it wherever you hit it and take your chances.
3-1 with Creedy on deck.
Well, you can see Oliver really letting the Twins offense know that I will come inside hard. Yeah, he also got Brendan Harris probably to break his bat and hit that ground ball to Ibar at short. That'll be interesting to see. Does he go back inside, or does Napoli, as he sits back inside again?
And a fastball that covers the inside corner and fills the count. So Morales will play behind the runner, Kubel, at first. And Kubel, of course, will take off early here with a full count to Kadire. Little pop up left field. Rivera makes the catch. Couple of weak ground balls, 3 weak pop ups. The Twins strand a couple on the bases. No score after 1.
Here by Circle, yes, we do miss Joe Mauer, but Jason Kubel, what a night he had last night.
Yeah, we go to the second inning with the middle of the Angel lineup, Abreu, Hunter, and Morales, waiting for Kevin Slowey. I asked Jason today, I said, any connection between you having a career night and playing a position? He said all it really meant was he got tired. The Twins had some long innings out in the field, and Jason was out in left field last night. He said, no, there's no connection. It's just I was wiped out by the end of the game.
I don't think a player's going to say, well, you know what, yeah, it was nice playing out there, but I know I like a DH. I think a DH, if they can play like Jason Kubel, they'd rather play the field. They'd rather be involved with the game other than just get 4 at-bats.
The only one I can remember, I think you're right, but the only one I can remember was Frank Thomas, who wanted nothing to do with first base.
Well, his shoulder killed him.
Yeah.
He couldn't throw the ball from first base back to the pitcher.
A liner into center field, and Abreu is aboard with a leadoff single here in the second. So not much hit hard in the first inning, and Abreu starts the second inning with a solid stroke to center. Firestone leaderboard, and Abreu of all people, not only hitting well, but he's running the bases.
Yeah, 5 stolen bases for Abreu. Actually, the Angels have 14 stolen bases. They've been caught only twice. Abreu getting a couple stolen bases in last night's ball game.
He's also walked a couple of times last night in front of Hunter. And now comes up with Abreu at first and nobody out.
You know, I don't know if this means anything, but this is the first time that Kevin Slowey has thrown to Mike Redmond this year. His first 2 starts, Jose Morales was behind the plate. And sometimes catchers, you know, or I mean pitchers, you don't shake off a guy like Redmond or Mauer maybe as much as he did maybe with Morales in the first couple ball games. So we'll find out throughout the ball game if Redmond can get him down. And it's not a knock against Morales at all. Some pitchers just like some catchers a little bit better. They feel a little more confident going into a ball game.
Opponents are 13 for 15 in stolen base attempts against the Twins. Pretty high percentage, and we'll see if with the pitchers being asked to pitch deeper in the games, throw better strikes, if holding runners on a little bit better is also part of the
it always is, Dick. It always is. What Slowey will try to do is make Abreu stop where he is right there. Don't give him that walking lead, and then hurry up home. Use that slide step like that right there to give your catcher a chance if Abreu does take off.
1-1 to Hunter.
There were certain runners like a Ricky Henderson. I'm sure Lou Brock, I never faced him, but I did face Henderson when they got on first. To me, if they wanted to steal, they could steal. Even though I thought I was quick home, they had a tremendous ability to steal a base. Ricky, the all-time stolen base leader. Abreu, a little different.
That's hit a long way, and Hunter puts the Angels up 2-0. Halfway up the seats and left.
Well, I said in the scouting report, keep the ball in the ballpark. 5th home run that Slowey has allowed this year, the 3rd 2-run home run. You have to make better pitches. For Torrey, his 4th home run of the year, and the Angels take a 2-0 lead.
Now that he plays for the other side, the fans don't want his home run balls. So 2 solid hits here in the second. Abreu did a screaming line drive, and Hunter with a deep shot to left field. And now Kendry Morales.
Yeah, Torrey got a cookie right there. He got that ball right on the inner half of the plate and was able to open up and hit it a long way.
1 strike to Morales.
Only because I threw a lot of cookies when I was on the mound. Talking to Mickey Hatcher right there, the hitting coach and former Twin.
This one hit well to right center field. Kadire open for a bounce. It's high off the drape. Gomez blocks it. And the inning starts with 3 very well hit balls against Kevin Slowey.
Well, against Abreu, he just went with a fastball outside. Abreu, such a good hitter anyway. A career 300 hitter, went the other way. This is a breaking ball. You can see that just stayed up. Got to try to drop that breaking ball right on top of home plate. High off the baggie. Gomez gets it back in, but it's a double for Morales, his 4th double of the year.
For the time being, at least, the Twins caught a break. That ball about 2 or 3 feet to the right of the short fence in right center field. So it stayed in the ballpark, and if Slowey can keep Morales from scoring, file that one under a home field break. Here's Napoli. Down and away, ball 1. Napoli 1 for 4 in the night last night. Very powerful right-handed hitter. And Napoli defensively came up with a great play last night, snuffing out a Twins rally, blocking the plate from Jason Kubel in the middle innings when the Twins were trying to get the game tied up.
Yeah, the Angels have two catchers, Napoli and Jeff Mathis, and they're both built almost the same way, just stocky type catchers. Short, compact swings.
Up around the hands, 2-1. Nobody out. Slowey trying to keep this inning under control here. 3-1 with Juan Rivera on deck.
Well, we all know Kevin Slowey, outstanding control. Last year, 1.35 walks per 9 innings. You don't want to fall behind on a good fastball hitter. And he went to the breaking ball.
And got a swing and a miss to fill the count. If you were watching last night, you know the story. The Angels wearing the number 34 over their hearts for Nick Adenhart, the pitcher who was killed in the car crash a little over a week ago, and the black diamond on the right shoulder for Preston Gomez, their longtime executive. Bouncer to the right side. Nice backhanded pickup by Harris, and he throws Napoli out. On the play, Morales moves to third. One away, Juan Rivera will come to the plate. They'll take Adenhart's jersey with them wherever they go.
Well, productive out right there. You see Napoli getting high fives all around. Guys getting up off the bench to say good at bat. You got the runner from second to third.
And now Rivera will hit with the infield in here in the second inning. Twins down a couple of runs here in the second. And Slowey shaves the inside corner. Home run this inning, the 5th allowed by Slowey. He's now given up 25 hits in 12 innings. Right to Creedy. He'll come home and get Morales in a rundown. There's the tag, and Creedy's throw not in time. So they get the lead runner. Morales in the rundown long enough to allow Rivera to scamper to second base.
Yeah, what you'd like to do right there, Redmond needs to run him back a little bit more so Rivera cannot go from home plate to second. Creedy throwing the ball to Redmond, but Red right here running back a little bit more because Joe Creedy kind of stood right there at third base, and that allowed Rivera to get to second base into scoring position. So even though they got the out, the Angels got the hitter to second base.
In scoring position for Eric Ibar. And down the middle, a strike.
Now we might have our instructional already.
Want to do the rundown?
Yeah. Ron Coomer was good at that. Third base. I mean, I think Joe Creedy should have come in right there. And Ron, you're open right now. I believe your mic's open. Does not Joe Creedy have to come in a little bit right there?
He does. As soon as Red really commits to the rundown, and like you said, you're exactly right, Bert. If Red really runs hard at the guy in the rundown and takes 3 good hard steps, he can give up the ball. But if Joe cuts that distance down by 3 more feet, you got a quick tag out and you still got a runner at first base. And I do believe we do have a instructional for post game.
All right, I like it.
Who are you going to get to be the runner?
You.
Well, Dick, I was just about to invite you to post-game instructional to be the runner.
You know, I've got a little hamstring issue.
That's okay.
That was in fantasy league when I was your manager. Now we're broadcast partners. You got to come down there and do some work down here.
2 strikes to Ibar. And Redmond set up outside and Slowey missed outside. 1-2.
You know, speaking of the fantasy camp, Ron Coomer was down there, and I have to admit, you know, I'm with Stan Dickman, and Dickman, we get a lot of response from the campers. They loved Ron Coomer at fantasy camp. Coomer, you did a great job there.
He was my coach, one of them.
Well,
and
then maybe
he didn't have anything to work with, and
Did
we got
he trade you?
He tried. There wasn't much of a market. I was out of options.
I would have designated you for assignment in a heartbeat.
2-2. Well, Slowey trying to keep the damage to a minimum here in the second. The inning started with a sharp single, a long home run, and then a double off the wall. Two and 2 to the number 9 hitter for the Angels. Breaking ball, dribbled foul. Slowey got through the first inning with just a handful of pitches, but obviously a much tougher time of it here, facing his 6th batter here in the second.
I've seen the breaking ball the last 3 starts for Kevin Slowey. It's just kind of flat. He doesn't have that good downward bite to it. As I'm sure that's one thing Rick Anderson's looking at. And then the control of the fastball. He's up in the zone a lot. When he's on, he hits the corners like that.
And he might have cracked Ibar's bat there.
That's a pretty good pitch, though, right there. And Ibar fouled it off. Slowey last year 123 strikeouts and 160 innings pitched in 27 starts. This start last year, his first start, was against the Angels here at the Metrodome, and ended up being put on a disabled list right after that with a bicep tendon strain.
And Ibar makes contact on the breaking ball. A lot of people made contact at Yankee Stadium today. Indians beat the Yankees 22-4. They had 20 runs by the 4th inning. Shin-Ming Wong gave up 8 runs in an inning and a third. Bad deal when you go into a game with an ERA of 28 and it goes up. 2-2 here to Ibar. Bouncer to the right side. Twins catch a break from the high wall in right center field. They keep the Angels to just 2, but once again tonight, the first couple runs go to the other guy.
Oliver had a record of 7-1 with a 2.88 ERA, all in relief. How difficult is him right now to be pitching in the second inning as opposed to the 6th, 7th, and 8th when he's normally accustomed to throwing the ball?
Well, we'll find out right now, but he's going to try to keep that pitch count and then rely on his defense. Great defensive play right there by Asturias up the middle off the bat of Joe Creedy. But Oliver has started a lot of games at the major league level, almost 300, but it's been a while since he started a ball game.
Here's Delman Young with one gone in the second inning. Great play by Asturias for the first out. And now Young takes a strike. You saw Hector Carrasco's name on that list. I believe that Carrasco's streak between or time between starts ended here at the Dome 2 years ago when he was with the Angels. Angels had similar circumstances where they had a vacancy in their rotation, and they pulled the former Twin Hector Carrasco out of their bullpen to pitch against the Twins in the series finale here. This one squirted to the right side, an easier play for Asturias, 2 down. So 2 quick outs here in the second, and that'll bring up Mike Redmond. Creedy hit his ball hard, but nothing else has been hit very sharply against Oliver. Redmond got an awfully big hit in that 7-run 8th inning last night. Didn't make the same sound off the bat that Kubels did. Hit a little doink over the first baseman's head, but
you call it a doink. I called it something else.
Yes, you did.
Hector Carrasco did start that ball game here in late April against in 2006 against Scott Baker. The Angels ended up winning that ball game 6-4. Both starters did not get a decision.
1-1. Oliver to Redmond. Now 1-2.
Oliver working off of that third base side of the pitching rubber, almost where Johan Santana pitches. And like Santana, he realizes that his strength is inner half of the plate to right-handers. A little easier to get that ball in there from that direction and where he's standing on the pitching rubber.
2-2.
Now Glenn Perkins, he likes to pitch inside, but he actually works on the first base side of the pitching rubber.
And Redmond leans across the plate and flips it foul.
I think it's always to the liking of the pitcher. Myself, because of my curveball, I worked on the third base side of the pitching rubber, where Nick Blackburn, he likes the other side. So it's just a matter of comfort zone.
Oliver first came to the major leagues in 1993 with the Texas Rangers. And to give you another example of how old he is, he once was traded for Todd Stottlemyre. Just off the corner, a very close pitch, and it's a full count to Redmond.
There's some pitchers going back to where they stand on the pitching rubber will actually move from one side to the other depending on if it's a right-hander or a left-hander up.
2-hopper to third. Figgins has it. Over across the diamond to Morales, and Oliver has a 1-2-3 second. celebration today. This is one of the many pristine lakes in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness in northeastern Minnesota. 150 miles along the northeast border of Minnesota. And of course, the lakes and rivers connected with portage trails. You pick up your canoe, you carry it to the next body of water, or your boat.
I would imagine that is beautiful country in the summertime.
Strike one to Sean Figgins. It'll be Figgins, Matthews, and Isturis in the third.
Well, Slowey's job right here is put a 0 on the board. We talked about Nick Blackburn last night after he gave up 3 runs in the 5th. Able to go out the 6th and get the Angels in order 1, 2, 3.
Breaking ball and another foul, 2 strikes.
One thing these young pitchers will learn, and they learned a little bit last year, that you cannot bring back the previous inning. You can only move forward. And Slowey, one of the right-handers that the Twins, along with those 2 other right-handers, are really going to depend on this year to pitch a lot of innings.
1 and 2.
And on the left side, Francisco Liriano, and of course Glenn Perkins. The 5 amigos. Or is that the 3 amigos?
3 right-handers and the 2 left-handers. Just off the plate, 2 and 2.
Well, you want to find out what home plate umpire Mike Winters will give you, and Slowly those last 2 pitches just missing the outer half of the plate. There are the umpires.
To left field. And Young retreats to make the catch, 1 away. Second time that Figgins has lifted a fly ball to Young. The first Blue Bunny Kids Day is tomorrow when the Twins host the Angels. Buy a ticket in the Home Run Porch or cheap seats and get 2 kids under 14 into the game for free. Blue Bunny Kids Day is one of the great values in all of baseball, and you can call 800-33-TWINS and get your tickets tonight. 1 gone in the third, and here's Gary Matthews Jr. Well, the Angels had a great spring training this year. They won 25 games in Cactus League play, and then the season started, and pretty much nothing but one big wave of bad news after another. Injuries, the death of Nick Adenhart. And Mike Scioscia says, you know, good teams find a way to fight through all of that, and they will do that. But the only thing that's gone right, I think they got Gary Matthews Jr. back a little earlier than they thought from his knee issues. 1 and 1. Putting 2 more players on the disabled list before the game today.
Sometimes it can be a long year in April. And you hope that May, June, July, August, and September go a little bit better for you. And October.
3 and 1. Angels last year won their 4th division title in the last 5 years. Set a franchise record for wins in a season. And then bounced by the Red Sox in the playoffs. Again. There's the outside corner, and it's a full count.
Mike Scioscia in his 10th season as a skipper of the Angels.
To short left. And Young with the catch out number 2. It turned out to be a pretty shrewd move for the Angels to hire Scioscia. Not only is he a great manager, considered to be among the best in the game, but in his career, of course, a legendary Dodger catcher, and in a market where the Angels were trying to establish their own identity, they ended up doing so with a guy who used to play for the other guys. 2 down, and here's Isturis.
Heck, they even changed their name. That's how close they want to get to the Dodgers.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Of course, a long time ago, they were the Los Angeles Angels. Then the
when they were in Los
Angeles in the early 60s. And then what's the chronology? What's the sequence? Then it was the California Angels,
then the Anaheim Angels, and now the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
And a strike, 2-1.
He's getting there. He's slowly getting there on that outer half of the plate. Good pitch to Matthews on a 3-2 pitch, fastball away.
Foul back, 2-2.
You know, you have to try to establish something in the ball game, and it's always for a right-handed pitcher against a left-hander. It's usually that fastball down and away. For a right-hander against a right-handed hitter, it's a fastball down and away. That's the one you want to control. Then everything goes off of that, and then you come inside and you freeze them.
A pair of 1, 2, 3 innings sandwiching the 2-run second. It's 2-0 Angels. Leading off the Twins' third. It'll be Gomez, Punto, and Harris facing Darren Oliver. Outside, ball one. It has been a very slow start for Carlos Gomez. He has 3 hits and he's drawn 1 walk. He's been on base 4 times so far this year. 1-1.
That's why I picked Gomez tonight for pick to stick. I know I was last. I didn't, it came down to maybe 3 or 4 guys, but I just think Gomez is going to find a way to get on. Throw it away.
Safe at first.
That's a way to get on.
Morales came off the bag to field a high throw from Ibar. And Gomez has come up lame. I think he may have made contact with Morales as he went by the bag.
I think when Morales went up and came back down, he stepped on Gomez. Gomez's speed right there with Jerry White. How hard this ball is hit. Ibar's got a great arm, and Gomez, you can see the throw pulling Morales off the bag, and Gomez right there as he came down. Morales ended up stepping on him. But look at the speed right here.
Now Gomez motioning to his right heel, I think. That was the area that Morales stepped on. Now Gomez on base for just the 5th time this year, but he does have in his 4 prior successful plate appearances 2 stolen bases. Inside, down and in to Punto. Ron Gardenhire asked before the game today why Punto in the leadoff spot, and he said, Gomez is putting a lot of pressure on himself anyway. He's off to a slow start, and rather than put Gomez in the leadoff spot, let him hit 9th rather than getting all amped up hitting leadoff. And Gomez goes. The pitch down in the dirt. Gomez with a head first slide, steals second, out. He overslid the bag. He slid through the bag, reached back, and his tourist tagged him out.
And he knew exactly what he did right there. He slid so hard that his momentum took him through the bag. And you see he beat the throw, and then his foot leaving the bag.
He was clearly back to the bag before he overslid, or before the tag was made. But
Randy Marsh, the crew chief, made that call at second base.
2-1.
So Gomez will get credited with a stolen base, and then a put out for the shortstop, I believe, or was it Asturis?
I think it was Asturis.
Asturis, the second baseman, gets the put out.
2-2 to Punto. Oliver knocks it down and throws him out. 2 down.
Ron Coomer, I know you didn't have that kind of speed. I bet you that never happened to you, did it?
No, it didn't. Not even close.
You ever overslide a bag?
The only issues I had was digging up too much dirt sliding into second base, guys. But, you know, talking about Darren Oliver, something I know about. So far, the Twins hitters who've gone through the lineup, Gomez's approach offensively hitting was very good. The rest of the Twins hitters, especially the right-handers, have tried to stay inside the ball. And like we said in the pregame and right at the top of the show here, at the top of the game, they're getting beat up inside. If the guys start looking to hook the ball, they're going to have a lot more success off Oliver.
There's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
Well, and Ron, too, I mean, you pitch in enough. He went right through the lineup, and really, Gomez was the only one that he really didn't bust inside hard as a right-handed hitter. And now that kind of opens up the outside, too, doesn't it, for Oliver?
Well, it does, but the one thing, even when Oliver goes away from you, Bert, he's got a little four-seam fastball that kind of stays more true or a little straighter, but just about every other pitch he throws, he almost has like that slider grip to it and the slider spin. So whether it's a fastball or slider, it comes out of his hand looking like a cutter all the time. So even when he doesn't come in, it's still cutting back in towards you as a right-hander.
Yeah, like that last pitch right there. He tried to throw that little cutter on the outer half of the plate.
And now 3-2 to Harris with Morneau on deck. Morneau with one of the 3 hits. They've all been singles. The Angels with 3 hits, but one of them a 2-run home run by Hunter. Popped up behind first. Abreu has a long run, makes the catch, and the inning ends. An infield hit for Gomez, but Oliver faces just 3 men in the inning. Grand Casino game reset, and that man, Torrey Hunter, responsible for the 2 Angel runs.
Yeah, Abreu started the top of the second inning off with a base hit. Then Torrey Hunter got a fastball middle in and hit his 4th home run of the year for the Angels' 2-0 lead.
I'll pass along my personal best wishes to the Dumont Saints as they're getting ready for the Landed Ducks League out in western Minnesota. They are watching the game tonight, and they're having their big fundraiser tonight. So good luck to Hank Frisch and the gang, and hope you win the Landed Ducks championship this year. Bobby Abreu leading off the 4th inning. And strike 2.
Abreu, one of those hitters that he doesn't mind going 0-2. He's very disciplined at the plate. Mentioned in his first at bat, a career 300 hitter, 241 career home runs.
Slowly slowed it down. Harris fires. Not in time. Abreu gets another hit. An infield hit. He's hit the ball sharply up the middle twice. That time Slowey was able to deflect it.
He keeps his hands back so well. Fastball in. See how quick he opened up. Slowey getting a piece of it. Harris, a nice play, but Abreu just beats it out. So the 4th hit off of Kevin Slowey. The 2nd by Bobby Abreu.
Abreu had 8 consecutive years of 100 or more walks. So great batting average, very high on base percentage, and the Twins are finding out firsthand that he's still a very good baseball player in this series. Abreu at first, he was there when Hunter hit a monstrous home run to left field, one of the longer home runs hit here, halfway up the seats in left field. Twins pitch out. Hunter going through the adjustment that a player has to go through if you're going to leave one team and sign a big free agent contract with another. His first year with the Angels, Twins like. He hit 278, 21 home runs, 78 runs batted in. Abreu goes. Redmond's throw. And Harris caught the ball right by the bag, and Abreu slid in with a stolen base.
Well, he was already in when he got a great jump off of Kevin Slowey right here. Abreu already has on the bag when he caught the ball right there. So Abreu, another stolen base, his 6th of the year, his 3rd in this 3-game series.
1-1 to Hunter. Little pop-up. Redmond in front of the plate. And Slowey gets out of the way. 1 down. You can get into the game and offer up a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Len Billings of Chaska wondering about the whereabouts of the Big Sweat. Did Dennis Reyes sign with anyone? And he did. A 2-year deal with the Cardinals.
Yeah, Tony La Russa very, very happy in spring training. I had a chance to talk to Dave Duncan about that, the pitching coach, and they're very, very happy that they were able to land Dennis Reyes in that bullpen.
Reyes gave up a walk-off home run today as the Cardinals were beaten by the Cubs 7-5.
Well, maybe he's not real happy today then.
Morales, the hitter, doubled off the fence in right center field. See, that's one of the things I'm not going to miss about moving out of the Metrodome, because it's not really a fence. I think Herb Carneal, bless him, put the name, the baggie, on the structure in right field. Now, Target Field will have walls. I don't know that we'll have a fence, but we'll have walls out there. We'll know what to call it. We don't really have walls here. Maybe in left field. Just off the corner. I mean, what would you call that thing in right field?
A baggie.
A baggie?
Yeah. Because of this was built for a football stadium,
right.
And those seats that are behind the baggie, of course, for football games, they come out. So you cannot put anything permanent there, or those would be really tough seats during a football game.
Phil Rizzuto, when he was broadcasting games for the Yankees, called them the vampire seats.
Yeah.
You'd hang upside down like a bat.
It hurt your neck.
2-1 to Morales. On the subject of left-handed relievers, some wiffle balls in there. A bonus for Viking fans or whoever's going to first game giveaway. You've got some wiffle balls in the right field seats. Foul back. On the subject of left-handed relievers, and Redmond, I think, took the follow-through of Morales' bat and his right arm someplace.
Well, we'll take a look at it right here. Morales with that big swing and then the follow-through. I think the ball got him more than anything.
Jose Majares, who did not have a good spring training, is having a wonderful start to his year in Rochester. So there is some encouragement there and maybe some help on the horizon for the Twins as they look for some left-handed relief. Swing and a miss, and Slowey gets a big strikeout for out number 2.
Oh, good changeup right there. Slowey went fastball in to get ahead, and then Morales missed his pitch. That was the one that he fouled straight back. And then Mike Redmond right here calling a changeup. And a good pitch down in the strike zone. And Morales way out front. Slowey picking up his second strikeout.
Here's Napoli, who hit a ground ball to Harris in the second inning. Redmond somehow was able to block that ball. It was in the dirt. And Abreu stays at second base. He's taking a beating this inning, and
yeah, he always has a way to keep that smile on his face too. He loves being back there. Well, you give up your body to try to block the ball, and you block it any way you can.
One and 0 to Mike Napoli.
Napoli knows exactly what Redmond went through right there.
Roller to short. Punto has it. Angels have a couple of runs, but twice they've had a runner at second with nobody out and have not scored those runs, and it's still 2-0. Join the community that's changing the way people connect. By Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. Expect grand. And by Chrysler. From power and efficiency to innovation and style, it's the way our vehicles come together that sets us apart. Chrysler. Breaking ball down and away to Justin Morneau as it leads off the Twins' fourth. We'll see what the middle of the Twins lineup can get done against Darren Oliver. Morneau chipped a single into left center field his first time up. Half swing. They'll appeal and a strike. 1-1. To short left again, and Rivera has a long run. Under it, 1 down. Jason Kubel, 4 hits last night, 1 already tonight. Big night last night for Jason Kubel, and Ron Coomer to break down his swing for the fans.
Well, when you look at this swing, every kid in America should try to swing like this. His head position is perfect, snapping right down to contact. He's going to make contact out in front of him, about at his front foot. And then you know the result. It's about a 450-foot home run. He had a good stiff front leg that he was hitting against. That is an ideal swing. And on a breaking pitch that was probably outer third, he stayed on that ball with his head. And because he stayed on it with his head, his swing stayed through the ball and ended up with the home run.
Strike 1 and now strike 2. And you said about 450 feet because I was asked when I got home last night what the measurement was and found out today. This year, the Twins, for the first time ever in the Dome, are not measuring home runs. Kubel with another base hit. His 6th hit of the series. And he's aboard with 1 out here in the 4th.
Well, Oliver got ahead of him, and they tried to come back in with a fastball and left it out over the plate a little bit. And look at the swing that Ron Coomer just broke down.
Outstanding swing right there, guys. The one thing for all the little kids to watch, his head snaps down at contact, and when your head snaps down and you watch the ball hit the bat, your hands end up going to the area you want them to.
Kadire lifts it high and deep to center. Hunter will try to chase it down and does on the warning track. Gary Matthews Jr. force a habit, and Matthews with the catch.
Yeah, Michael gave it a ride right there, but a lot of hang time, and if it stays in the ballpark, not only Torrey Hunter, Gary Matthews Jr. can cover a lot of ground.
After the pitch, you could see Oliver, and he just did it again there, just rotating that shoulder. 2 down, and here's Creedy. Had a hit taken away by Maicer Asturis, leading off the 2nd inning.
Oliver pitched 4 days ago. He threw 40 pitches. This is his 51st pitch with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
I would imagine just as an insurance policy in spring training, they sent him off on a backfield and had him pitch 6 innings in a B game to extend him out just a little bit in the event they might need him as a starter someday. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Good off-speed pitch right there by Oliver. Oliver, 228 major league starts coming into this start. He's won 100 games at the major league level, 101 and 82 losses. He's worked just over 1,600 innings with an ERA of about 4.8. He's had a good career. Guy that came up, like you mentioned, Dick, back in 1993, basically as a reliever, then put into the rotation in 1995 by the Rangers. The Angels are his 8th different organization to pitch for at the major league level.
Creedy takes, and it's 3-1. Delman Young on deck.
Darren Oliver, the son of former Bob Oliver, former major league outfielder for the Pirates, the Royals, the Orioles, the Yankees, and the Angels. Not too many father-sons get an opportunity to play in the same organization.
Creedy out in front of the off-speed pitch, and it's 3-2.
Morales will play behind Kubel. All right, Joe Crady, time for a home run right here. Your first Metrodome home run as a Twin.
And he takes ball 4 instead.
Scared. He knew he was going to do it, too.
There were a couple of men aboard for Delman Young.
First walk of the ball game for either pitcher.
And for more on season tickets, let's hear from Denard Span.
Remember, baseball is an outdoor sport. Get your lower level season ticket plans now for as little as $380 per plan and guarantee your place in the sun at Target Field in 2010. Thanks for your support.
He seems so serious, doesn't he?
The Blues Brothers right there.
One of the nicest young men the Twins have had come up through their system in a long time.
But he is a serious guy because he wants to succeed. He wants to succeed.
Delman Young wants to succeed here. And he doinks it to right. Abreu
trouble.
chasing it. It's down for a hit. It's going to score a run, sending Creedy to third, and the Twins are on the board. A 2-out single for Delman Young, his 5th RBI of the year.
Didn't you pick him in the pick the stick?
I surely did.
Well, Delman Young jumps on that first pitch. The inside-out swing just got underneath it. But flares it down that right field line. Abreu can't catch up to it. Kubel scores the first run for the Twins, and on the plate, Joe Credy moves over to third.
Here's Redmond, who's quite capable of getting a hit, just like Delman Young got.
Oh, his will be uglier.
This one down the right field line a little deeper. Might be within range of Abreu. A foul ball, and he stumbles into the wall.
Yeah, every club has that right fielder guard the line for Mike Redmond. Normally the center fielder will guard the right center field because that's where Mike Redmond gets so many of his hits. Big gap in left center.
And Young flops back to the bag. Kubel with a solid single to center. Creedy drawing perhaps a very big walk. Young on the next pitch drops a base hit into right to put the Twins on the board. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Oliver does not have a strikeout and hasn't been a strikeout pitcher for quite some time. And Redmond takes up high.
Well, for a guy that has not started a ball game since 2004, this might be his last inning. 60 pitches, 61 now.
Redmond with another foul, and Abreu shading Redmond down the line is able this time to cover the ground, stand there and wait for the ball in foul territory. Twins get on the board in the 4th. It's a 2-1 game.
during a ball game, because if I wanted something, and there's Mike Butcher right there, I wanted to know now. I didn't want to know later. I had my catcher sit on one side and the pitching coach sit on the other, and I wanted to discuss maybe something that would make me better for the next inning.
Well, Oliver might be given a chance to pitch into and through the fifth to qualify for a win if the Angels still have the lead.
Yep.
Juan Rivera will lead off the fifth against Kevin Slowey. And Slowey hits the outside corner. We mentioned, I think, going into the break, after the Angels were retired in the fourth, twice in tonight's game, the Angels have had a runner at second and nobody out and not gotten that runner in, which is not fundamentally sound Angel baseball.
Well, it's good pitching by Kevin Slowey, too. He is able to strike out Morales with, Abreu at second base, able to get out of some situations. After he gave up the 2-run home run to Hunter with nobody out, Morales hit that double and is able to strand him.
2-1. Year in and year out, the Angels have been one of the best situational hitting teams in the game, and that's one area where they've struggled coming out of the gate this year. And Mike Scioscia's seen his team get a couple of runs on a home run. Chopper headed up the middle, cut off nicely by Punto, throws him out. Nice range by the Twins shortstop going to his left.
Boy, that was an outstanding play by Nick Punto. This ball looked like on this turf it was going to go into center field, but Punto reaching out as far as those arms will stretch, and then on the run making a nice something on the throw toss over to Morneau for the first out. Very nice defensive play.
One down, and here's Ibar. Lofted to left. And Young with a catch and a quick second out. They'll bring up Figgins.
That's what you need right there as a starter. Couple quick outs. You want at least 2 or 3 innings in the first 7 innings to have maybe an 8 to 10 pitch inning that allow you to get into the 7th and 8th inning. Slowey right now 60, I believe, 7 pitches. 45 have been strikes.
Here's Figgins.
69 pitches.
Ball 1. And the Twins bullpen would greatly appreciate getting to Monday's off day without having to pitch an awful lot of innings tonight and tomorrow. The Twins get their first off day on Monday, and if Slowey can pitch deep into the ball game tonight, and as a Glenn Perkins tomorrow.
Yep. Glenn Perkins has gone 8 in his first 2 starts.
Would solve a lot of the bullpen ills that the Twins have. Ron Gardenhire saying Jesse Crain simply is not available tonight, and he'd rather not use Mac Guerrero unless he absolutely has to. And the Angels firing up the bullpen. It's 2-1 to Figgins, and now 3-1. Kevin Jepson, I believe, is the right-hander warming up down in the bullpen. Slowey with just 1 walk on the season. And I believe just his second 3-ball count. Third 3-ball count, I beg your pardon. And he walked him. So Figgins and his speed aboard with 2 gone in the 5th. We've seen the Angels run almost at will in this series, and so we would expect Figgins to consider taking off here.
Figgins stole a base in last night's ball game in the 7th inning. 6 stolen bases in 7 attempts.
Gary Matthews Jr. lined out softly to Harris in the first, and then hit a fly ball to Delman Young in the 3rd. And there's strike 1. With Abreu's stolen base in the 4th, Opponents are now 14 for 16. Or more than one successful stolen base per game. Figgins takes off. Redmond's throw not in time, so another steal. And Ron Coomer, should Twins fans be concerned with the opponents stealing as often as they have against the Twins this year?
Well, I think there is some concern, Dick. The one thing is, though, I don't care who's catching right now, and this includes Joe Mauer. As good as Joe is at getting rid of the ball and unfolding that 6'5" frame, the pitchers have to be better. For Mike Redmond to have a shot, the pitcher's got to be about 1.3 to home plate. 1.3 seconds, and right now they're just not getting that done. Figgins did not get a great jump. He kind of stumbled, but he still had 3 good steps before Slowey ever delivered the ball. I've been watching from this third base camera well, and our pitchers have been very slow to home plate.
I agree with you, Ron. You know what? So many of the stolen bases, they say, well, the catcher's not throwing good. No, Figgins had probably almost 1/3 of the way down by the time Mike Redmond even received the ball.
The stolen base right before this one by Abreu, I think it was. He stole second base. Red did an unbelievable job. I didn't have his time, but he did an unbelievable job getting rid of the ball and putting the throw right on the bag, and Abreu was already there. So, you know, you can say stuff about the catchers, and it's unbelievable how good Joe Mauer is at getting rid of the ball. But right now, this is a pitcher issue, not a catcher issue.
And there's some issue right here, maybe about what Mike Redmond wants to throw Matthews right here, as he calls time and goes out to talk to Kevin Slowey about it.
Slowey got the first 2 men here in the 5th. Now a rare walk, a stolen base, and the Angels are threatening to add a run to the lead here. White Sox have jumped out in front of the Rays 6-0.
Well, last at bat, Slowey fell behind Matthews 3-1 and then painted the outside part of the plate. And then on 3-2, he went back out there again, and Matthews hit that fly ball to left.
That stung Redmond on the left wrist, right above the glove, I believe. Good bet that Jose Morales was going to catch tomorrow anyway, and Redmond trying to fight through this game.
Well, every game somehow Mike Redmond ends up getting hit somewhere, somehow.
There's a reason why catchers don't win batting championships. How are you supposed to hit when you can't feel your fingers?
Tell that to Joe Mauer.
Yeah. 2-2 to Matthews. Slowey trying to pitch out of a late 5th inning jam.
Well, he took a little bit off that last pitch, and Matthews were a little out front to foul it off. See if they go back to that fastball outside, or if they try to sneak the fastball in hard on him. Redmond moving out.
And Matthews spins it over the net. Two and 2. And Punto tried to cut in behind Figgins. The Twins nearly picked a runner off last night on that play. Two and 2 to Gary Matthews Jr. Got him looking. And the Angels strand another runner in scoring position. Minneapolis, where the Angels are holding a 2-1 lead. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven, Robbie Ince-McCoskey, and Ron Coomer. The opening shot there, we saw Justin Morneau's Silver Slugger Award he received before the game today. That's awarded by the Hillerick and Bradsby Company, the makers of Louisville Slugger bats, and they award a Silver Slugger Award to the best hitter at every position.
Joe Mauer will also receive one of those.
Up high to Gomez.
A little bit later this summer.
And Jepson in the game for the Angels.
Yeah, Kevin Jepson making his 5th relief appearance. A September call-up last year, a young man that was signed by my son Todd Blyleven out of Northern California back in 2002 when my son was a scout for the Angels.
Gomez moving his feet in the box and taking ball 2.
Jepson, good sinking fastball in the low 90s, a curveball, hard curveball, and a changeup.
3-0. With all the talk about Jason Bulger's home run to allowed the grand slam to Jason Kubel, what I think the Angels were more distressed about than anything was Scott Shields' inability to throw strikes last night that kind of set that whole inning up. And now their first move to the bullpen here, bringing Jepson in, and he falls behind Gomez 3-0. Gomez taking all the way. Just one walk on the season for Gomez.
Well, good job by Darren Oliver. I think he got exactly what Mike Scioscia wanted. 4 very good innings out of him.
3-2. See the Angels with a higher bullpen ERA than the Twins.
Well, I expect Texas to be there at the end of the year. Don't expect the Angels or Minnesota to be there. Watch out.
Gomez will go to first after nearly taking it on the chin, and the leadoff man is on here in the 5th. I suspect the Yankee bullpen ERA will go up today after giving up 22 runs. 14 of them by the relief staff. So Gomez aboard for the second time. He looked like he had a stolen base after his infield hit in the 3rd, but he overslid second base and was tagged out. Here's Punto. Punto now hitting as a left-handed batter, and it's significant because Punto today is 0 for 2 against the lefty and 0 for 12 from the other side of the plate. Alexi Casilla has a bunt single in 17 at bats from the right side of the plate. Long hold, and Jepson steps off the rubber. Punto getting time.
Jepson, 24 years old, Angels number 2 pick back in 2002.
Hitting very well from the left side of the plate. Punto. And he misses high ball 1.
Sean Fagan's going to go get some rosin bag and try to settle his right-hander down. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, coming out. Try to get him back down in the strike zone.
Well, he's thrown 7 pitches, 5 of them out of the strike zone, and a quick trip to the mound by Mike Butcher. Jepson with, I think you saw the 8 hits and a couple walks allowed. The Angel bullpen had a tough series in Seattle, and obviously a tough opening night in this series here last night. Twins hoping to get Gomez around with the tying run. This is where the game, I think, Bert, is really fun for Gomez once he gets on base. The problem has been him getting there, and he's gotten there twice tonight. tie, 2-0.
Punto looking down at Scotty Alger, almost having to take a pitch here. Wouldn't be surprised if he does. Make Jepson throw the ball over the plate.
So it stands to reason the Angels, with some major holes in their starting rotation, they've had to patch those holes with pitchers who might otherwise be pitching out of the bullpen.
Well, Darren Oliver tonight to start.
Right. 2-0 to Punto. Not close. And Harris waiting on deck. Pitches, 8 balls, and the Twins take a pair of walks to start the 5th inning. Aflac trivia question.
Aflac. Aflac!
Who are the 3 players with 100+ RBI in each of the last 6 seasons? Vladimir Guerrero's probably on that list.
What, Albert Pujols? Is it American League or?
No, all of baseball. Yeah, Pujols has got to be on that list. I'll go Maglio Ordonez as another option. Here's Harris, runners at first and second. Good speed on the bases, and Harris squares to bunt and takes ball 1.
I'll go Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess too. Miguel Cabrera, each lead. First with the Marlins in the National League, last year with the Tigers. If we name enough players, we got to.
How about Ted Williams?
One strike to Harris. And he swings away. And now strike 2.
Well, you have to guess fastball. If it's in that zone, go ahead and swing hard. Harris getting underneath it. A little surprised he did swing right there, but Ibar coming in from short, maybe making sure what sign they're using with a runner at second.
Harris, of course, hit a home run last night, came into the game hitting nearly 400. But now it's 0-2. Infield back at normal depth. The corners were playing in. Breaking ball. Down and away, 1-2.
We didn't mention Manny Ramirez. Another one.
Harris with a sharp single to left. Gomez will be held at third. So a pair of walks, and on a 1-2 pitch, a scalding line drive off the bat of Harrison. They're loaded up for Morneau.
You know, when you walk the first 2 batters of an inning, you start aiming the ball. Napoli tried to get Jepson to throw some breaking balls, but then when he fell behind to Harris, he had to come in with a fastball. That didn't have very much on it right there, and Harris took advantage of it.
And now Morneau. A pop fly single in the first and a fly to left in the fourth against the lefty Oliver.
Justin 4 grand slams in his young career.
Base hit right field. Gomez scores. Punto will be held up, and the game is tied. A pair of walks, now a pair of singles, and Kubel will have another chance with the bases loaded.
Justin getting his second hit of the ball game, his 9th RBI. phone is ringing. A breaking ball. Justin went down, and this ball just hugging the turf all the way to Abreu out in center right field.
Kubel last night hit his 5th career grand slam. A high number, especially given the fact that if this isn't at bat, it will be Kubel's 1200th major league at bat. He's hit 5 grand slams in less than 1,200 at bats. Now 1,200 at bats, roughly 2 full seasons worth of at bats, and he's been Minnesota's best hitter, most productive hitter in situations like this. 1-1.
Well, we had Pat Tabler here the other day, analyst for the Toronto Blue Jays. He had great success that way. Kubel can get a big hit right here.
One and one to Kubel. Down the right field line, down for a hit. Kubel delivers again. Punto and Harris score, and the Twins take a 2-run lead. Jason Kubel's 7th hit of this series. The song that played in the clubhouse Thursday night. And everything's going all right here in the 5th inning.
Pretty good piece of hitting right there. This ball was down and in, and Kubel just kind of laid the barrel of the bat on it, hooked it down that right field line. His 3rd double of the year, and now leads the Twins with 12 RBIs.
Infield halfway in for the Michael Cuddyer at bat. A couple of outfield flies so far tonight for Cuddyer. Tapper to short, runners hold. And Cuddyer's gone on 1 pitch. So the Twins now in a situation similar to what the Angels had earlier in the ball game, and the Angels were not able to get the runners in from scoring position. And we'll see what Creedy can do about matters here with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. Again, infield halfway in. Creedy takes a belt-high strike.
Yeah, infield halfway in because Justin doesn't run as well as, say, Denard Span or one of the other speedsters. So they can play back just a little bit.
Another chopper, this one to 3rd. 2 down, and the runners are still stuck at 2nd and 3rd. So Jepson, as wobbly as he's been here in the 5th, has gotten a couple of big outs to strand for the time being Kubel and Morneau.
Twins need a big 2-out hit right here by Delmon Young.
Delivered one in the 4th to drive in the first Twins run of the night. Half swing and ball 1.
Yeah, we'll see what Jepson's doing now. More breaking balls. He really missed with that fastball, walking the first 2 batters he faced. Now a lot of breaking balls.
Infield, of course, back at normal depth. That rolls by the catcher. Morneau coming in. He'll score. And now the ball bounces away from the pitcher, and the Twins get another run. Napoli couldn't squeeze it. And Morneau comes in from 3rd.
Well, ball in the dirt right here. Another breaking ball getting underneath the wickets of Napoli. And rolling all the way to the backstop. Justin got a good read. He slides in safely. The 4th run of the inning. The Twins take a 5-2 lead.
2-0 to Young.
Wild pitch will be charged to the pitcher.
And Delmon Young would love to have that pitch back again. A powerful swing and a foul back.
Well, high fastball right here. That's the breaking ball that got underneath Napoli.
3-1 with Redmond on deck. Young, once the run scored on the wild pitch, never really saw. I guess he had the one big swing, but Mike Scioscia is going to come out and make a pitching change here with Mike Redmond, the 9th man to bat here in the 5th.
Yeah, 3rd walk of the inning for Jepson. Not a very good outing.
Four hits last night and has 3 already tonight.
There you go. You are hereby circled. Rafael Rodriguez coming into the ballgame. He worked in last night's ballgame an inning and a third. He gave up 4 hits, a couple runs, 1 earned run with a walk. He threw 27 pitches. Came in the 7th inning, got out of that inning, then
Mike Redmond faced him and bounced out to short to end the 6th inning when the Twins got a run. Kubel got his triple against him. So we'll see whether Redmond might have picked up something in last night's at bat he can take into this at bat. 9th man to bat here in this 5th inning. And that rolls away from the catcher. And another run scores. Kubel comes in from 3rd, and it's a 5-run 5th.
second wild pitch of the inning. And Napoli, a ball that just got away from him. That should be a pass ball, actually. That ball hit his glove and just deflected away. And Kubel scores, and Delmon Young goes from 1st to 2nd.
It is a pass ball. Redmond takes inside 2-0. And Mike Scioscia, as great as his Angels teams have been over the years, he is going through the same thing Ron Gardenhire has gone through in the first couple of weeks. A beaten up bullpen. Rodriguez didn't fare too well last night, but he has no other option but to bring him in here in the 5th inning tonight. 3-0 to Redmond. The inning started with a walk. The first 2 batters this inning walked.
Yeah, Rodriguez just getting called up from AAA Salt Lake City on the 14th of the month. His first major league action, his 3rd major league appearance, and he walks Redmond. So 4 walks this inning. Circled around that base hit by Harris, the RBI single by Morneau, and the 2-run double by Kubel.
And now Gomez, who started this with a walk. He nearly got hit by a pitch from Jepson and scored the tying run on Morneau's base hit. Outside a ball. Turris comes in to chat with Rodriguez. Check swing, and it's ball 2. Ball dropped out of the strike zone. And Gomez swings away and lifts it foul. Well, we've seen it all over baseball. Angels struggling with their bullpen. Yankees have some serious bullpen issues. About the only good thing that happened to them today was Nick Swisher didn't have to pitch. He's already pitched once for the Yankees. At least I don't think he pitched. Gomez pops it up to short left. And Ibar puts an end to an ugly inning for the Angels, but the Twins will take it. They put up a 5 spot and lead by 4.
By a 6-2 score over the Anaheim Angels. I'm with Mark from Alexandria in the Minnesota State Lottery Winner's Circle. And Mark, look at this. Get the circle as bird sign, but pull this one out of the way. Look at that beauty of artwork right there, Bert.
Wow,
how long did this take,
guy.
Mark?
Just a couple nights working on it with the kids, and we had a good time doing it.
He's got his son and 2 friends. Look at that, Bert. Have you ever been immortalized like that?
Keep all the evil spirits away. That'll keep the evil spirits away.
Look at it. It looks just like you too, Bert. You got American flag on your right lapel. Look at that. Just beautiful. Mark from Alexander, congratulations. Here's $100 in scratch-off tickets in the form of 20 of the $5 Minnesota Twins Lottery scratch-offs. Have a great night, and thank you.
Appreciate it.
There it is. Another happy fan, Bert, thanks to you.
Thanks to the Minnesota Twins on the field.
2-0 to Turris. Slowly now pitching with a lead for the first time tonight. And there's the outside corner, 2-1.
Well, you get that lead right now. Again, you know what Kevin Slowey was able to do. He gave up 2 runs on that 2-run home run to Torrey Hunter in the second. And then he found a way to get some zeros on the board. 3 straight zeros. Give your team a chance to come back, and they have so far. Now you have that 6-2 lead. Now you need another 0 because these guys busted their tail end for you to get you some runs. Now put that 0 on.
2-2 to Turris. Since Hunter's 2-run home run, the Angels have left 4 runners in scoring position. And they've been unable really to string much of anything together. They got 3 straight hits when they scored their 2 runs in the second. 2-2 to Turris. Ball driven to right field. Kadire back and makes the catch. Retreating to the warning track, one away.
That might be one of Esteuris's best hit balls right there. The little guy doesn't have a lot of power, but he got a fastball up and drove Kadire back to the warning track.
So one gone in the sixth, and here's Abreu, who has 2 of the 4 Angel hits. And a strike that covers the inside corner. Big swing and a foul. 0-2.
And I got a piece of Redmond again. That left hand really bothering Mike Redmond. Trying to shake it off. Looks like the thumb. Rick McWayne right there in the center. Next to Jose Morales.
Little roller to short. Punto charges it. And Abreu retired. 2 down. Let's go back to our Aflac trivia question. Find out the players who've driven in 100 or more runs in each of the last 3 years. We threw out some all-star names, maybe Hall of Fame names. Pujols, Ramirez, and Bobby Abreu. That one surprises me. Alex Rodriguez might not get there this year, missing start of the year. Hunter bluffs a bunt, takes a strike. Fly ball right field. Kadire back. On the track, makes the catch right in front of the fence. 3 up, 3 down. Good inning for Kevin Slowey.
This came in the 3rd inning. Carlos Gomez stealing a base, but then sliding too far. And even though he got that hand back on the bag, he was called out by second base umpire Randy Marsh.
The Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze can. With the Twins in front by 4. Nick Punto leading off the bottom of the 6th. Punto drew a walk and scored in the 5th inning when the Twins scored 5 times. Ball 1.
You know, Dick, it's not only the Twins and the Angels that have had trouble with the bullpen. It's really all of baseball, but more, I think, in the American League. We talk about the pitch count so much for the starters, and now all of a sudden the starters have, gone 5 or 6 innings. Puts more pressure on the bullpen.
Indians have issues. Red Sox probably are the one team that figure to have a pretty strong bullpen all year long. But that too is based on starting pitchers like Beckett and others pitching deep into the ball games, and so even the Red Sox are affected when Dice K goes down and can't pitch deep into a ball game.
Yeah, put on a disabled list.
Yep. 2-2 to Punto.
Rodriguez worked in last night's ball game again. 27 pitches. He's got some sink on that fastball, the hard slider, and the changeup.
Was called up today. Looks like Thompson might get in the game. And Punto swings and misses for the first out of the 6th inning.
I did some homework last night and today about yesterday's games that were played, and there were
Brendan Harris takes a strike, and I think it was Art Howe, and I was talking with him last year, and he said, you see games now and box scores, seems like they almost have the pitching section is almost as long as the lineup section, the position players. And he said, the risk you run, and of course he used to manage a couple of different ball clubs. You bring 4 or 5 pitchers into a ball game, the chances are somebody out of that group is just going to have a really bad night. This one hit hard to center field, and Matthews won't get there. Over the wall, a ground rule double for Harris as he continues to sting the ball.
Well, Harris got a breaking ball up, gets his second hit of the ball game, his second double of the year. And he gets into scoring position with 1 out.
And that'll bring up Morneau as a pair of hits.
A good compact swing right there. And Matthews goes back. He runs out of room, and the ball bounces out for a ground rule double. Yeah, starters last night averaged 94 pitches. Relievers, they averaged 62 pitches per game, meaning, both sides. So relievers throwing, a lot of pitches. And I just, again, I'm not an opponent of the pitch count, but I think they ought to take that down on all ballparks. They ought to take the speed gun down.
Well, they would still keep track of all of that in the dugout, though. All you'd be doing by taking it down is depriving the fans from.
Well, if my pitching coach is keeping it a little clicker like I had at the WBC, and I'm sure Rick Anderson has one, the pitcher doesn't know how many pitches he threw. Now they walk off and they can see it. We mentioned the other day with Francisco Liriano, I believe he had 54 pitches after 3 innings. And I believe it was Ron Coomer, Roy Smalley mentioned that he was looking up at the scoreboard and shaking his head. He knew that he was a little bit over the pitch count to maybe go 6 or 7.
2-1. And now 3-1. Twins, of course, wearing the throwback uniforms to 1982, their first year in the Metrodome. Morneau does his Kent Hrbek imitation, scalding one to right field. Harris scores, and the Twins get another run in the 6th.
On the Angels, they had Casey Kochman, they had Mark Teixeira last year playing first base. That ball right there Morales has to get in front of this ball, even though it's hit hard. That ball is underneath the glove, and it should be an error, right? They gave him an error. That's a ball that he should have caught right there. And Harris ends up scoring at second base, and it's a 7-2 ball game.
Kubel with 4 hits last night and 3 for 3 tonight, with 2 runs scored, 2 runs batted in. Unbelievable! And every ball hit has been right on the button. There hasn't, well, I guess his first hit tonight was a little chip shot into right center field. But everything else has been hit right on the nose.
Fastball right there. Kubel. Again, Ron Coomer talking about his swing. Boy, he's on everything.
Smiles all around for Jason Kubel and another Angel pitching change.
Last night, in the game of his life, all his buddies from back home in Southern California watched the game on the Angels feed. He said he had about 15 text messages, 5 voicemails from all his buddies that he hadn't heard from. A lot of them he hadn't heard from in a while, saying, hey, nice job, great game, keep it up. And I think he's like giving that little Southern California treat tonight, Dick.
8 for 9 in this series.
That's on fire.
He needs a triple and a home run to hit for the cycle again tonight. Here's Kadire with runners at first and second, 1 away. And another Angel pitcher.
Well, Thompson just getting called up today from AAA Salt Lake City. Rich Thompson, 24 years old, and up and down the last couple years with the Angels.
1-1.
Dustin Mosley, the starter in last night's ballgame, put on a disabled list with a sore right elbow. And Vladimir Guerrero put on a DL.
Two and 1 to Kadire. Three and 1. The Twins have been on the other side of some games like this at home. Here with the Blue Jays scoring runs in bunches. And this game can turn in a hurry, and maybe it has turned for the Twins. You know, it's a cliche. Tom Kelly said it all the time. Momentum in baseball depends on your next day's starting pitcher. And to that end, let's acknowledge Kevin Slowey's done a really good job here. His best start of the year coming after the dramatic come from behind win last night. He stranded some runners in scoring position and gave this lineup a chance to put together some innings. Kanair draws a walk and they're loaded up. And Creedy will come up. Dodge game break, and we are going to take you to Fenway Park. Josh Beckett with a strikeout against the Orioles. Jason Varitek dropping one down the right field line. Youkilis scoring. And right now the Red Sox leading the Orioles 6-4 in the 6th. Creedy, big swing and a foul, 1 strike.
Yeah, after tomorrow's ball game, the Twins have Monday off. Monday night we'll be flying and playing a couple games at Fenway Park.
You know, it's a shame because we'll be flying in after the Boston Marathon. And had we been there in time for it, I might have tried to join in and go to 26.2 miles.
Yeah, right. Have you ever seen the finish line? I know when as a player we used to go into Boston at times and we'd play the 11 o'clock game and then we'd run out to the finish line and watch people actually finish that 26-mile race. And we never saw the winners because they're already done. But the people that wanted to finish, my goodness, they were throwing up. There was, you could just see that that was their goal. I didn't care if it took 10 hours to finish. They were going to finish that, cross that finish line. I think for all that, they got a T-shirt.
He's blocked by Napoli. And it's 2-2. Well, we'll get in there about what? I don't know, 10:30 at night, something like that. There might still be people coming.
Yeah. There'll still be people at the finish line waiting for that last person to come through.
Well, the Twins, leading by 5, have a chance to really bust it open here. 1 out, 2-2 to Joe Creedy. Popped up. Infield fly rule will be called. 2 down. And that'll bring up Delman Young. So Thompson trying to keep the Twins within reach here. Delman Young drove in a run with a single in the 4th, drew a walk in the 5th.
Thompson 2 years ago came up in September, appeared in 7 ball games. Last year, only 2 ball games, both in relief.
Young was at the plate when a wild pitch scored a run. Really ugly inning in the 5th for the Angels. 4 walks, 2 wild pitches. And the Twins scored 5 runs on just 3 hits. 1 strike to Young.
Mitchell Thompson, 24 years old, from Sydney, Australia. Baseball seeing more and more players coming out of Australia.
At one point, the Twins were kind of pioneers over there. At one point in the Twins organization, I think there were 16 players from Australia.
Grant Belfour, who had some good years here, now with the Rays.
1-1 to Young. And now 1-2. One and 2 to Delman Young. Down the line, a base hit. It'll score 2. Young comes up with a big hit. And the Twins have a 3-run 6th.
Well, good pitching, good hitting right here, because this breaking ball looked like it started right at him. And watch Delman Young. Look where that pitch starts, and then he just, almost like Jason Kubel, got the base hit down and in as a left-hander. Delman Young just dropping the barrel of the bat and picking up a couple RBIs. 3 RBIs in today's ballgame for Young as he gets his 2nd hit.
Twins sent 10 men to the plate in the 5th. And now here in the 6th, Redmond will be the 8th man to bat. Check swing. And a ball. Redmond drew a walk last inning. 0 for 2 on the night. Ooh, that nearly peeled the mask off Mike Winters. One and one. Two and one. So far, this has been very, I don't know if this is a word or not, un-angel-like. They've won 4 divisions out of the last 5 years with effective relief pitching, very good starting pitching, clutch hitting. 2 and 2.
Again, the Angels have been through a lot so far this year with the death of Nick Aidenhart. It's going to take a while. But I think Mike Scioscia, you know, he's showing his patience. He realizes that he's got a lot of talented kids. Of course, they're going to miss Vladimir Guerrero. We're going to get some of those starters back like Lackey and Santana, maybe Escobar. And Redmond takes a call, 3rd strike to end the 6th inning, but the Twins add 3 more. Home run of the year, a 2-run home run that gave the Angels an early 2-0 lead. Twins came battling back, highlighted by a 5-run 5th inning. Kubel with that 2-run double, and then a couple wild pitches added to that 5-run bottom of the 5th. And the Twins have a 9-2 lead.
Kendry Morales taking ball 1. 34,286 the paid attendance tonight. Swing and a miss by Morales, and it's 1 and 1. Morales, Napoli, and Rivera to face Slowey, looking for his 2nd win of the year. And Mike Winter says strike 2. I don't know what the grand design is given the score of the game, but let's imagine Slowey getting through the 7th inning with right around 100 pitches. Gomez with the catch on a well hit ball, 1 away. conceivable the Twins could get through this game with just 2 pitchers used. Don't know about tomorrow, but then the off day on Monday, it might be a big boost to the bullpen to catch a little bit of a break here toward the end of this homestand.
Well, to Kevin Slowey's credit, he gave up 3 hits in the second inning, highlighted by the Torrey Hunter 2-run home run. But since that, he's only given up 1 hit, and that was an infield hit off the bat of Bobby Abreu, and that was off his glove, Kevin Slowey's glove. Other than that, this is a Kevin Slowey that you expect. Good control, not going to strike out, 9, 10, 12 guys. He's going to pick up 5, 6, 7 strikeouts. No walks in a ball game. He has 3 strikeouts so far. And maybe this is sometimes pitchers need this. You need to be relaxed a little bit. In Kevin Slowey's first couple ball games, you want to start off on the right track. You leave some pitches up. You give up the home run. But he was able to put a couple zeros on the board. Twins made it 2-1, and then they opened up with 5. Now he's relaxed a little bit, and this will help him not only the rest of this ball game, but also for his next start. Air it out a little bit.
You had talked about mechanically something just didn't look right with Slowey mechanically in his first 2 starts, but the results are there tonight.
Well, it's just working out front. He was just a little bit lazy with that wrist, the right wrist. Now he's hitting his spots like that right there. Great follow through, great wrist action to create that strikeout, and Slowey picks up his 4th strikeout. But watch how he comes through with that right wrist right there. I mean, excellent pitch. That's Kevin Slowey at his best.
2 down. Here's Juan Rivera.
And how you do that is to make sure you maintain your balance over the pitching rubber. Slowey was rushing a little bit. Now he's in a nice little groove. When he's missing down in the strike zone. See how he gets to that balance point? Now everything follows that right there. The arm comes whipping through. And I like the follow through, how he goes that right leg past and over the left landing leg. Brad Radke, to me, had one of the smoothest deliveries the Twins have ever had as far as a starting pitcher. And Slowey is very close to him, and there's a reason why he doesn't walk too many guys.
A little bit low, 2-1.
I said he didn't walk anybody yet. He did walk Figgins in the 5th inning with 2 outs. See, and to me, Kevin Slowey's the type of guy, you take away that scoreboard up there that says 100 right now, that his delivery, he could throw 115, 120 pitches because of his delivery.
I would imagine with the not just the off day on Monday, but the off day coming up on Thursday, that there's going to be more time between starts, which might encourage the notion these guys could go a little bit beyond the 100 pitch count.
Well, let's hope so. Blackburn last night threw 106 pitches.
And a base hit. Just the second Angel hit since the second inning. It comes with 2 outs in the 7th.
Well, he left that ball out over the plate right there. And Rivera took advantage of it. Took it right back up the middle.
Ibar, the number 9 hitter, has a ground ball to second and a fly to left.
Slowey, like Radke, they're artists out there. They paint the corners when they're on. That's what pitching's all about. And one thing Kevin Slowey worked on in spring training was taking a little off at times.
1-1. Well, the scoreboard here has 104 pitches, 70 strikes. Greg Breslow takes the jacket off.
Well, you'd like to be, 2 strikes to every 3 balls thrown. Slowey's better than that.
1-2.
By my California math.
You better be sharp with your California math with the Angels here.
I'm trying.
One and two to Eric Ibar.
We saw Rick Anderson get on the phone, and Craig Breslow starting to loosen up.
Two and two.
A lot of busier actions out on that mound, too. When you start looking down at the bullpen in the 6th or 7th inning, with your mannerisms out there, you want to be that bulldog this time of the game. You want to finish. You want to go one more.
And now the pitch count mounting to 107.
But one thing, the Twins are very, very cautious as far as slowing the pitchers too many pitches. That's the way the game has become.
And that'll skip into center field. So the Angels putting together a 2-out rally here in the 7th. First and third, 2 away. Back to the top of the order, and Sean Figgins. Series wraps up tomorrow afternoon with a Blue Bunny Kids Day, and the first 7,500 fans at the game will get a global Relief eco-friendly tote bag courtesy of Waste Management. Great day to bring the kids and get a tote bag too. Visit twinsbaseball.com for tickets. Well, Figgins the hitter, 2 on 2 out, and one way or the other you can imagine that Figgins will be the last guy that Slowey faces.
Well, with a 7-run lead right here, let him go one more. It's also the pitcher's mannerisms. Again, Kevin Slowey walked around the mound. If that's me, I get back on that pitching rubber. I tell those guys I'm in this game. I'm going to get this last guy out.
Figgins goes. No throw.
Yeah, Ibar not credited with a stolen base.
Slowey trying to pitch a scoreless 7th. Haven't been many of those this year. 2 strikes.
There haven't been too many games that the Twins have had success against this guy, Sean Figgins.
Held hitless tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk.
Yeah, the board says 109 pitches, and they are 2 behind. It's at 111 pitches for Kevin Slowey. I think you're 112th, a good one.
Figgins takes it. Got him. And his last pitch, 114th, if that's what it was one of his best pitches of the night. He strikes out Figgins, strands a couple, pitches a scoreless 7th, and comes off the mound with a 7-run lead. Carlos Gomez leads things off. Takes up high, ball one.
Our Mountain Dew fan of the game, or fans of the game, you are hereby circled.
Young guy doing his Jason Kubel imitation. Pretty good left-handed swing. And Gomez with a harsh right-handed swing. Bouncer to third. Figgins has it. And Morales with the catch. Gomez retired, one away. And Rob Quinlan with a homecoming back in right field, back in the Twin Cities. Thompson's done a nice job. He gave up a 2-run single to Delman Young, but it was on a pretty tough pitch to hit. Young just did a nice job driving it into left field for a 2-run hit. 2 hits and 3 runs batted in for Delman Young. My pick in the pick the stick. Now, how many points did you get last night in that?
I had 16 points
with Jason Kubel.
Yeah, what a night. Thank you, Jason. Couldn't have done it without you.
1-1.
Let's see, who had Jason Kubel tonight? I believe the fans.
I did not.
The fans had Jason Kubel, and they have 10 points tonight. These fans are smart.
Well, I had Delman Young. I got 2 hits, and he's driven in 3 runs. He's drawn a walk. Get anything for a walk?
No. Well, you may. I don't know.
See, I'm kind of taking in this thing. I'm doing the tortoise and the hare thing. You had 16 points last night. The fans jumped out to a quick lead because they had Morneau on some of his better nights. I'm just trying to pick up a couple 3 points every night, and you just watch. By the end of the year,
you'll still be in last.
I'll still be in last place. Swing and a miss, and it's 3-2. Punto 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Joe Vavra hoping that the collars can loosen a little bit and everybody can relax and just play Twins baseball after a rough start. And it has been a rough start, but if the Twins win here tonight, and they should, they're 6-7 with a chance to get to the 500 mark tomorrow before they head out on the road.
Well, again, nobody's going to run away with the division. I don't feel in any division this year, all 3 American League divisions.
Punto strikes out. I think during the winter, a lot of people thought this Angel team potentially could run away in the West. Seattle had a disastrous year last year. Oakland is rebuilding. They've got some great young players and some veterans in the lineup.
Well, they still have a chance. I mean, if their starters come back, like, Lackey and Santana and Escobar, it's a very solid ball club. They know how to play the game, led by a great manager in Mike Scioscia. I mean, they won their division last year by 21 games over second place, the Texas Rangers.
Harris continues to hit the ball very well. He's the right-handed complement to Jason Kubel right now. He's drilled 3 base hits in his last 3 at-bats.
Brendan Harris, very valuable to the ball club because he can play so many different positions, and he's going to stay in the lineup as long as he keeps getting hits. Alexi Casilla has struggled at the plate. He found himself at second base here tonight.
And now Morneau up high, ball 1. 2 hits, 2 runs scored, an RBI for the number 3 hitter for the Twins. Average up to 340. They have 340 up here on the board. One and one. Close pitch taken for a ball. At the knees. Twins with a 5-run fifth, a 3-run sixth. And a fly ball to left. Rivera comes in to end the inning. So Thompson pitches a scoreless seventh. On to the eighth. Twins up by 7. A 5-run fifth tonight, a 3-run sixth. And we move forward to the 8th inning with the Twins in front, 9-2. 7 good innings for Kevin Slowey. Run support provided once again by Jason Kubel and Brendan Harris and Delman Young. And now Craig Breslow will pitch the 8th inning.
Yeah, Breslow making his 6th appearance. The high ERA would like to get that down a little bit by maybe a shutout inning or two.
Gary Matthews Jr. hitting right-handed against Breslow. And Breslow delivers ball 1.
And that's been Breslow's biggest headache so far. Get ahead in the count to utilize that good slider. 3 walks for Breslow in those 5 appearances so far, covering an inning and 2/3.
And Redmond, after ball 2, is going to go up and chat with Breslow.
Breslow worked here on Thursday night, did not get an out. Gave up a couple runs, a couple wild pitches on a couple walks.
And here, perhaps, given the task of getting 6 outs, get a little work in. See if the Twins can get through this game with just 2 pitchers used, but obviously you have to throw it over the plate to do that. 2-0. There's a strike. Earlier we mentioned Jose Majares, who's pitching every bit as well now in Rochester as the Twins hoped he would in March in spring training. He's given up, what, 1 hit and 5 1/3 innings, something like that. Hasn't walked anybody. 2-2.
You kind of saw where Mike Redmond, he took the mask off right there and looked out at Breslow and shook his head like, yeah, that's it. Challenge him right here. After falling behind 2-0, Redmond walked out there, kind of like your second pitching coach on the field. Get back in that groove. I'm going to sit right down the middle of a plate.
And now 3-2.
That slider missing low.
And happy birthday to the birthday boy, Brian Busher, turning 28 today. Wished him a happy birthday, and I said, what number is it? He goes, well, it's the first big one. And I thought, well, he's not 30. Ball 4. And he said this is the first big one because it's the first birthday he's spent in a major league uniform.
That is a big one. So happy birthday, Brian.
Leadoff walk here in the 8th. Breslow issuing a free pass. And now Izturis will hit. Ball 1. Greg Breslow having a hard time throwing strikes again tonight.
Starts playing mind games on you where you start losing your release point. And here comes Mike Redmond again. Make sure what sign they are going to have with a runner at second base.
Well, last year Breslow in his 38 2/3 innings with the Twins walked just 14 batters. Right around 1 for every 3 inning pitched. Struck out 32. Gave up only 24 hits. The league hit just 180 against him. He was outstanding. And so far this year he's had a tough time getting it over the plate. 2-0. And the Twins are sure not the least bit interested in having the Angels having a prolonged inning here in the top of the 8th.
No, you want to try to shut the door because there's a game tomorrow. You want the momentum swung our way, not where the Angels get some momentum going late in the ball game.
2-1. And now 2-2.
Izturis, one of the 5 switch hitters for Mike Scioscia.
Lifted foul over the Angel dugout. Two and 2 to Maicer Izturis. Another foul. Breslow has already thrown a dozen pitches, 6 balls, 6 strikes. He doesn't have an out on the board yet. Matthews, a runner at second base. Another foul. Four 2-strike fouls in this at bat for Izturis. And now a full count. And Rick Anderson, the expected father, pacing back and forth. A lot of pacing in that dugout. If the Angels put together an inning here, here's a liner to center. Breslow finally retires Izturis, 1 down. The all-you-can-eat seats are back on Tuesday, April 28th, when the Twins host the Tampa Bay Rays. For one low price, you can enjoy a Twins game for the Twins' historic final season in the Metrodome, plus all the hot dogs, soda, soft pretzels, peanuts, popcorn, and nachos you can eat. Seats are limited, so call 833-TWINS today or visit twinsbaseball.com. One gone, and now Quinlan.
They'll change up right there and misses low. And I was watching Rick Anderson. What he does, he'll walk over to this area right in there. And sometimes when you stand there, you cannot see the hitter. And what he does is he just focuses in on the pitcher. Don't forget about the pitch. What he wants to do is Breslow following through. Right now, he's kind of, his momentum's going a little bit to third base. As far as how he throws that ball, he's not going directly toward the catcher's glove. That's what pitching coaches look for. How do you get that ball to the glove or through the catcher's glove? That's a better follow through there.
Quinlan with a foul, 2-1. Well, Rick Anderson will have his work cut out for him with Juan Murillo. Hard throwing right-hander, had a bullpen session today. Twins very impressed with the power arm of their newly acquired relief pitcher. And now 2-2. When it's thrown over the plate, now Breslow doesn't have the most overpowering stuff in the world, but you don't, I mean, we saw it last year and even this year in his struggles. It's not like hitters are getting solid contact against him.
No, he's got some giddy up on that pitch. It's just a matter of now hitting his spots. Redmond not moving much behind home plate. He's just kind of saying, okay, give me something good down the middle.
To right center field, and Kadire glides in to make the catch, out number 2.
See, and Redmond right there going to talk to Breslow right there. See, little pats his glove, little word of encouragement. See, and this is all done without Rick Anderson having to come out and talk to Breslow because of Mike Redmond or the catcher.
Jeff Mathis off the bench. He'll hit for Hunter in the DH spot.
Yeah, Mathis, the backup catcher.
Pitch left up. Mathis with a healthy swing and a foul ball.
He's got that same swing as Napoli, the other catcher. Both of them built about the same. Both of them 6 foot tall. Napoli about 10 pounds heavier. They both like that fastball. They both like to swing the bat.
And another foul, 2 strikes. And Redmond again with some animated encouragement for his pitcher.
Well, see, now he got ahead in the count. Now you see Red right there clapping the glove, you know. Okay, he takes more pride in that than that little whale that he hit over the right first baseman's head yesterday. See if he moves a little bit more. Yes.
Bouncer to third. Creedy stays with a tough hop and fires across to get Mathis.
Right, Redmond's going to go congratulate him.
Wobbly start to the inning for Breslow, but he perseveres and keeps the Angels off the board.
Nonetheless, a good one, and we're going to talk about it tonight on Quest Twins Live, featuring the Toyota post-game wrap. And amongst our topics, we will discuss Kubel keeps going. That man is on fire, coming to bat right now. 4 hits in each of his last 2 nights. The rundown, that's our instructional. Bert Blylev and Ron Coomer will take you through the details of the rundown and slow ride. Kevin Slowey tonight, well on his way to picking up victory number 2 on this 2009 season. Dick Bramer.
Thank you, sir.
This will be an interesting at bat right here. Jason Bolger coming into this inning. Starting this inning, he's the pitcher that Jason hit the grand slam off of last night. First ball fastball down and in.
Kubel bounces it to the right side.
Guess it wasn't that interesting. Looked like a changeup right there. Kubel finally makes an out.
And the fans giving Kubel a nice round of applause. Another 4-hit night. In this series, he's 8 for 10. The last time a Twins hitter had back-to-back 4-hit games, it was Joe Mauer's wonderful series here against the Dodgers a few years ago when he won his first batting title.
I'll tell you what, those are great fans right there that got up and applauded Jason Kubel. That shows me a lot right there. These fans, they're great fans here in Minnesota.
As for Bolger, it's been a rough week. He gave up the grand slam to Kubel last night, and then a couple nights before he gave up a grand slam to Ichiro Suzuki. So in 1 week he's given up 2 huge home runs. And then in a couple weeks we'll be in Baltimore and we'll run into Jim Palmer, and he pitched his great Hall of Fame career and never gave up a grand slam.
And he'll let you know that too.
2 strikes to Kadire. One and 2. Kadire looking for his first hit. We might get our first look at Juan Murillo. Number 31 warming up in the Twins bullpen. Kadire taps it to Figgins. 2 down. And that'll bring up Creedy. Creedy with a walk and an 0 for 3 night. Ball 1.
Creedy led off the second inning with a ball up the middle, and Asturis made a great play up the middle to maybe rob him of a base hit.
1-1. Looks like the White Sox are going to win tonight. They're leading Tampa Bay 8-3 in the 9th. Indians beat the Yankees, thrashed them 22-4 at the new Yankee Stadium. Called strike 1 and 2 to Creedy. Kansas City leading Texas in the 8th. Gil Misch almost threw a shutout last night at the Rangers, and tonight it's Zach Greinke's turn to pitch a shutout so far against the Ranger lineup. And Detroit and Seattle scoreless in the 3rd. 2-2 to the Twins' third baseman. Called third strike. And Bolger has a much better inning tonight in the 8th inning than his inning last night. been a good night for Jason Kubel and the Minnesota Twins. And the Jeep game reset showing you the Twins are up by 7.
Yeah, the Angels took a 2-0 lead, and then the Twins open up the ball game with 5 in the bottom of the 5th. Added 3 more in the bottom of the 6th, have a 9-2 lead. There you go. Nice big sign. You are hereby circled.
And now the Twins debut of hard-throwing right-hander Juan Murillo.
Those are his career numbers with the Colorado Rockies. Up and down 2006, 7, and last season. Appeared in 1 game, 1 start back in 2006, then sent back down. 4 appearances in relief in 2007, and then just made 1 appearance last year for the Rockies.
And he'll face Kendry Morales here leading off the 9th inning.
Murillo claimed off waivers from the Rockies just a couple days ago.
And a fastball at the knees. As we said, it'll be a project for Rick Anderson to try to harness this young man's control. There's only so much, of course, a pitching coach can do. The Rockies did not want to lose this guy. They wanted to send him down and let him refine his control down there. You can see a 95-mile-per-hour fastball.
Well, 6'3", 190 pounds from the Dominican Republic. Signed with the Rockies back in 2001 as a free agent.
An 0-2 pitch, bounced to short. 1 away. So Murillo gets his first Twins hitter, and Napoli will hit. Twins have got good reports from the Rockies about Murillo. Bob Apodaca, their pitching coach, longtime contact with both Rod Gardenhire and Rick Anderson from their days at the Mets. And he delivers strike 1 to Napoli. And he's followed the same pattern that he followed in the Morales at bat, a called strike and then a high strike that the hitter couldn't lay off of. 5 pitches, 5 strikes. Slider got him. 2 down.
Good hard slider right there. A pitch that he's been working on, along with that good fastball. Good tight rotation on that slider. Jason Kubel, I think for the 2nd night in a row, is our Quest player of the game. 4 hits, scored 3 runs, couple RBIs. The man is on fire.
And the hits have come on fastballs, come on breaking balls. He's been right on the ball throughout this series. Trying to do some quick math, which is never a safe thing for me to do, but his batting average in this series spiked up about 150 points so far with a couple of 4-hit nights. Here's Rivera taking ball 1. That's 95. Strike 1. Laced to center field. So a 2-out single for Rivera.
Yeah, Rivera gets his second hit of the ball game. Just the 7th for the Angels. Kevin Slowey worked the first 7 innings. They gave up 6 runs. Excuse me, 6 hits, 2 runs off the bat of Torrey Hunter. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Craig Breslow worked the 8th. And Murillo trying to get the final out here in the 9th.
Eric Ibar, the hitter. Last hope for the Angels. Strike 1. So Murillo's faced 4 hitters, and he's gotten ahead of the hitters 0-1 3 times. One and one. Bouncer to second. Murillo pitches a very good first inning as a Minnesota Twin, and the Twins have won back-to-back games against the Angels. Jason Kubel with another 4-hit night tonight. And for a preview of Quest Twins Live, let's find Marty Gelder.
All right, Dick and Bert, another Twins win over the Angels. So